We are truly now, more than ever, the last great hope of Earth.
You've probably seen the news by now. On Monday, March 18th, 2019, Beto O'Rourke's campaign announced that it had raised more than $6.1 million in online donations from individual contributors in its first 24 hours, just barely surpassing the earth-shattering record set by the Bernie Sanders campaign of $5.9 million in its first 24 hours. This was surprising to say the least. A New York Times analysis of Act Blue filings with the FEC indicated just last month that while Beto had an estimated donor base of about 740,000 people, Bernie Sanders had around 2.1 million, far and away more than any other Democrat eyeing the presidency. RCP's polling aggregations show Beto to be in 5th place, far behind both Bernie and Kamala Harris, whose once impressive $1.5 million 24-hour haul is dwarfed by both Sanders and now Beto. Beto's presidential launch was also widely mocked by everyone from Fox News to MSNBC to TYT. So why is it that he's somehow been able to outraise the two biggest names in the race so far? How did he do it?
Everything that I said, I was like watching myself being like, how am I saying this stuff? Where is this coming from? Doesn't that seem a little bit weird?
Elizabeth Warren. She at least is a serious person with a track record of fighting for working families. Bernie Sanders is a serious person. Kamala Harris is a serious person. He is a serious person. But Beto, ridiculous, phony, show pony Beto, he is not a serious person.
You have people literally on bread lines. He's on a walkabout, driving around the country, finding himself, much like he did, when he was in his 20s. So I don't understand. I mean, why are we excited about someone who's very light on policy?
There's great reasons to have been excited about Beto O'Rourke. But then in the middle of the campaign, he changed.
Already, Beto O'Rourke's large first-day haul is being used as evidence of massive grassroots support, despite his relatively low standing in the polls and what appeared to most as a blundering campaign launch. The New York Times reported, Mr. O'Rourke's early burst of fundraising illustrates how much he has captured the imagination of many Democratic activists around the country. Vox argued, for O'Rourke's presidential campaign, which drew some negative coverage in its early days, these fundraising numbers prove he can play big. Indeed, Beto claims his campaign is not taking in any donations from corporations or PACs. So his huge haul seems to indicate a far more massive groundswell of support than was previously assumed based on, well, every major poll taken since the primary season kicked off. O'Rourke has placed behind Sanders in literally every poll collected by RCP. His average support is less than a third of Bernie's average and barely more than half of Harris's. Maybe he had a huge burst of support since his campaign launched. That's quite likely, in fact. But could it have been so much as to overtake Bernie? Well, there's another possibility. In my view, one that is far more likely. While Beto claims he is not taking PAC money, we've heard this claim before. In his run against Ted Cruz for Senate, Beto claimed he would not take PAC money, but was criticized by the Cruz campaign for accepting individual contributions that had been bundled by the PAC J Street. PolitiFact rated Beto's claim of not taking a dime from PACs as true. Specifically, they said, true. The statement is accurate and there's nothing significant missing. Absolutely nothing significant missing. As one local news site explained, Beto O'Rourke gets money through PAC, not from it. What does that mean? Well, there are differences between bundled individual contributions and PAC contributions. With a PAC contribution, a person can donate up to $5,000, and the PAC can give it to the campaign without listing individual donor names. When a PAC bundles individual contributions, the limit is $2,700, and personal information including name, employer, and address must be listed. J Street is of course not the only bundler in town. As CNN explained in December of 2018, campaign bundlers such as Sussman and Hirschberg, more on them in a second, play a crucial role in presidential campaigns because they can tap their extensive networks of business associates, family, and friends to help collect or bundle the huge sums needed to mount a White House bid that could surpass the $2 billion mark for the party's eventual nominees and the groups supporting them. CNN also reported at the time that Gary Hirschberg, a top fundraiser for Obama as well as Clinton in 2016, donated to Beto's Senate campaign and was considering supporting him for president. Louis Sussman, a financial backer of both John Kerry in 2004 and Obama in 2008, had met with Beto a number of times and was encouraging him to run. CNBC confirmed as recently as March 14, 2019, that Suzman was backing Beto. They also pointed out yet other major bundlers interested in Beto's campaign. Robert Wolf, a Wall Street guy and longtime party donor, confirmed that he had spoken with Beto and was impressed with his early campaign rollout. Robert Zimmerman, yet another lead bundler and presumably not the iconic folk singer of the same name, nor the brother of the notorious child slaughterer also of the same name, also told CNBC that he considers Beto a viable candidate. The smoking gun that Beto likely raised money through bundlers is the fact that he did not reveal how many individual donors he has, nor the average donation size, which would be the same thing. Bernie received donations from more than 225,000 people in the first 24 hours. For Kamala Harris, that donor number was 38,000. Having taken in $6.1 million, the fewest number of donors Beto could have possibly had is just 2,260. In April, Beto will have to file his receipts with the FEC. If he used bundlers, you can expect a large number of maxed out donations. That's not $27, but $2,700. Considering that Beto's done bundling in the past, a number of bundlers have shown interest in his campaign, and he won't reveal his total number of donors, it's quite likely that his impressive haul came, at least in part, through this process. If indeed major bundlers helped him with his haul, then at least some of the major wealthy connected behind-the-scenes players must have been convinced that Beto, and not Biden or Harris or Klobuchar, was the horse to back in 2020. If indeed he managed to convince these powerful donors to back him, then it is incumbent upon the rest of us to ask this next question: how did he do it?